You are tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Y'all not doing shit. So come on in. Come get some of this good boxing talk. It's going down. Now, I know y'all used to seeing VP Shane, with me. He'll probably pop up eventually. I know y'all used to seeing BoxingFirstVlog. He'll pop up eventually, but your boy rocking solo today, but that's all right. That's all right. I got all of y'all. at the end of the day, man. Coming off of the Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas fight pay-per-view over the weekend. Ugas got an upset victory over Manny Pacquiao, and it's a lot of talk. I haven't seen one person that thought Manny won the fight. I haven't even seen one person say that it was a draw. Everybody said either 7-5 Ugas, 8-4 Ugas. I've seen as wide as 9-3 Ugas. Me personally, I had it 7 rounds of 5 for Ugas. I scored it live on the channel. We were live for the fight. My boy Blaze Philly 215. He scored a 7-5 as well. Big shout out to Adrian. What's going on, bro? Adrian, how did you score the fight, man? How did you score Pacquiao Ugas? I even talked to my bro L Dub Boxing earlier, and big shout out to L Dub. He said he had a 9-3, so he only gave Pacquiao 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bad night at the office, for Manny Pacquiao, 2-year layoff. And, Ugas last-minute replacement, not the easiest last-minute replacement, but you figure if Manny was anything close to Manny, then he would have took care of business. But Manny didn't look like Manny at all. You can blame it on the age. You can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. But Ugas went in there and put in work. It was basic work, but he put in work for real. Brennan Smith, what is going on? He said I had an 8-4 Ugas. I can respect that. I was very close to making it 8-4, but I scored it live. I had a 7-5, but can't argue with 8-4 at all. I got my boxing son in the building. Chris G, what's going on, bro? He said I have to rewatch it again. I gave 8-4, 9-3 Ugas. All of them are respectable scorecards. Chris, you ain't even got to rewatch it to rescore it. If you had a 7-5, 8-4, 9-3 for Ugas, I can't argue with you. The link is in the chat, so if you want to jump in, we doing we like to call it the fan zone. We allow the fans to get on in and speak their piece. So the live is the link is in the chat. So if you want to click on it, jump on. I have no problem doing that at all. Watching the fight, usually if I'm live, I usually don't score the fight, but I really wasn't doing any commentating, so I was able to actually watch the fight and actually score it like I would if I wasn't live. So I would say it was probably maybe about 2 rounds that was like nip and tuck that I gave to Manny, and probably if it wasn't Manny, I probably wouldn't have gave it to him. But it was 2 nip and tuck rounds, and I gave them both to Manny. That's why I said the 9-3 scorecard. If you had a 9-3, then I can respect that. But I scored it. I had a 7-5 Ugas. Basically, going into the last round, I had it. Manny needed that 12th round to get a draw. In my book, I had a 6-5 going into the 12th, and then Ugas won the 12th round. But there was so many telltale signs that Manny Pacquiao lost the fight. A lot of times you could tell by guys' reactions after the fight. Manny just looked defeated. His wife, she was just cringing pretty much the whole fight. Even with the mask on, you could see her face. It was just like, oh, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was absolutely crazy, just watching Manny that way, but just really breaking down the technicals, like the particulars. Manny just didn't have the feet. his footwork is usually what sets him apart from his opponent in a fight. He can get the angles that his opponent can't get to. He can get the angles and throw shots at angles where, you know, when he throws and punches and bunches, it's really hard to stop it. This was the first time, and I'm a Manny Pacquiao fan. I love Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's been great for the sport. He always will be great for the sport, you know. But the bottom line is this: like, he just didn't look right. He didn't have that. He didn't have that pep in his step. You know, Adrian said no bounce in his legs. Absolutely, absolutely. He had no bounce in his legs. He didn't look quick. He wasn't working angles. He just didn't look like Manny Pacquiao. Like, he just didn't look like Manny Pacquiao. And VP Shane, a couple other guys was like, yo, you know, Manny ain't fought in 2 years. He's in his 40s. Is he going to get old in the ring? And going into the fight, I was just like, until he does, I'm going to say that he's not going to get old in the ring. He's just going to have to show me. But, you know, at the end of the day, Pacquiao just, I mean, he just looked like a shell. He looked like a shell of himself. And it's crazy that I'm saying that because I only had Ugas winning 7-5. But it was what I like to call a competitive ass whooping. And the reason why I know Manny Pacquiao wasn't on his game is because Ugas didn't do anything special. He didn't do anything special. And usually with Manny Pacquiao, you got to be special to beat Manny. Or you got to have a special moment to beat Manny like Marquez did. I mean, basic jab by Ugas. Ugas he would start off the action with a jab, right? What happened after that is Manny was countering him with his own jab. What Ugas was doing was countering Manny's jab with 2 more jabs on top of it. And he was either bringing one high or he was bringing one to the chest, one high. And he was doing that for the first like 3-4 rounds of the fight. And Manny couldn't get around the jab. Like, I had it 2-2 after 4 rounds, but Ugas was doing some really, really good work. Even though I had it tied after 4, I was just like, Ugas' trajectory was going up, you know, where Manny's was kind of going down. I was like, Manny was the one that was going to have to make adjustments in the fight. And he tried to make adjustments. Like, don't get it twisted. He tried to make adjustments. What happened is Ugas made one simple adjustment. Except for him throwing double, triple jabs, he just started throwing that one jab, or he started feinting the jab and started throwing that corkscrew right hand. And that corkscrew right hand couldn't miss. He was landing on Manny all night with that corkscrew right hand. And when I say corkscrew, I mean it's not coming from your traditional angle when it comes down to a right hook. That right hook came from a weird angle. Robert, Mr. Lee, Acosta, what is going on? He said I won $80. You should have won more. Hey, man. You know what? Hey, Rob. Did you only put a light amount on there because the WBA was involved? Because that's the only reason why I didn't do anything, for real. But big shout out to you, man, Robert Acosta, man. For the people that don't know, that's he's gonna be. I'm gonna have something coming out real soon. I'm gonna keep y'all posted. I'm gonna keep y'all posted on that. Waiting for the right time. But we got Trey. We got Trey in the building. Big shout out to Trey. Do you think it was good for Manny that he fought Ugas and not Spence? Spence may have stopped Manny. Trey, first of all, welcome to the show. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Go to the website too, man, g5jeftv.com for sure. Trey, to be honest with you, Manny got off easy. If that was Spence, Spence would have stopped him, and Spence would have stopped him. If he would have fought Bud would have stopped him. You know what I'm saying? So he got off easy fighting Ugas because Ugas don't have as much steam on his shots as a Bud or a Spence. Brennan said people need to give Ugas his work. He was one, went in the ring. He was the only one that won, not TC and Spence. Nah, man. Ugas gets full credit, man. Ugas gets full credit. People don't realize he took a fight on 11 days notice, and the fact that his opponent dropped out because of a eye issue as well, people don't talk about that. So Brennan, you are exactly right. Like that's 100% facts. That's 100% facts, bro. Rob Acosta, he said you froze up, bro. My bad. Oh, nah, that's cool, man. I told him we got something cooking. I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for the right time to drop it. But go follow Robert Acosta too. Man. He is big behind the scenes in the sport, and he will be big mainstream in due time. Just give him time. Adrian, he said that Ugas' right hand was similar to Golovkin left hand that KO Marco Antonio Rubio. You know what, Adrian? I love guys that have a awkward, like that awkward hook. Golovkin has a really, really awkward hook. Like it comes from different angles. That's what makes him so dangerous. But Adrian, you're exactly right. Ugas' right hand, he wasn't even throwing it to really take Manny's head off. He was throwing it for placement. And he could not miss. And he was moving Manny Pacquiao with the shots. Like Pacquiao was rarely taking shots on Ugas, and he wasn't keeping his stance. Like he was moving him. Rob says Spence would have stopped Manny hands down. Yeah, hell yeah. He'd have stopped him, bro. It would have got ugly. I think he would have got. Only thing, Rob, answer this for me. Now, with Spence being in the southpaw stance, what do you think he would have had the same success with the left hook as Ugas did with the right hook? Being that Spence is a southpaw. So put on your trainer hat and answer that one for me. It'll be interesting to see what hook would have worked best for Spence. Traditionally, you would think the left hook, but Manny was eating them. He was eating them right hand so much. Spence could have threw a lead right hook and would have been cool. Trey said Ugas all the props, even though Manny is past it. Ugas took all the risk. If he would have lost, he would have been done. Props. I don't think he would have been done. If he would have lost, they'd have just said he lost to the great Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? As far as Ugas deserving all the props, yes, absolutely. He deserves all the props. Point blank, period. Like he is really he kept it basic, bro. Like he kept it basic. I know you said Ugas took all the risk, but I don't know if you meant like took all the risk in terms of taking the fight or took all the risk like inside the ring. Like inside the ring, Trey, like he really just kept it real simple. He jabbed, kept the distance, controlled the distance. Then he countered Manny with a jab. It was so important to counter Manny with a jab because you're keeping him at a distance and you're keeping him on a straight line. You're denying him the angles that he want. Now, luckily for Ugas, Manny ain't had the legs that he usually have, but Ugas had a basic game plan, but it was perfect game plan. Robert said, no, I don't. I think Spence right hook would have been effective. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. And Rob, the thing is, like, Spence usually doesn't throw a lead. He usually doesn't throw a lead right hook. He usually 9 times out of 10, he's throwing a jab up or throwing a jab down to start off a combination. So it would have been interesting to see if Spence would have made that adjustment, if he would have threw a lead right hand or a right hand off of the jab, like a right jab and a right hook behind it. That's a combination sequence that Spence doesn't use very often. But I'd have been interested to see if Spence would have been able to effectively do that inside the ring, but I think he would have stopped Manny. It would have been ugly. I think it would have been ugly because Ugas was killing him with the body work too. He wasn't throwing a lot, but when he was throwing down there, Manny ain't like them body shots. He ain't like them at all. Andre Southgate, what's going on, player? Ugas was good on the night. Showed up with the right tools for sure. It was basic. He found his range early. Yeah, found his range early. Now don't get it twisted. It was a combination of Ugas being very sound, very basic, very precise from his movement to his punch selection, um, distance, and everything. But let's be real. He caught Manny on the right night. But we still got to give Ugas all the credit. Got to give him all the credit in the world. Rob, Manny legs wasn't the same. He couldn't get off. Yeah, he couldn't get off at all, man. Like he was just the old Manny when he be bouncing. He bounces to the left, bounces to the right, bounces underneath, and springs up. All he was doing was just bouncing in place. He kept on tapping his gloves. Like he kept on tapping his gloves. Like Ugas would hit him with a 2-3 punch combination, and he'll just be banging his gloves like, damn, all right, like almost talking to himself, like, damn, Manny, let's go. And I think he wanted to do what he usually does, and his legs just like, no, like, like, no, like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like his legs was shot. Said Manny would have walked into something crazy with Spence. Yeah, Spence would have. You know what? A-Rob, tell me if you agree with this or not. I could have seen Spence hitting Manny with the shot that Spence hit Chris Algieri with when he had Chris Algieri off the ropes and he took that half step back, hitting with the hook. Same shot he hit Sean Porter with. I could have seen him hit that same exact shot on Manny. The way Manny looked last night, like he would have been open for that short hook off the exchange, half step back. Like Spence would have possibly KO'd Manny. So for the people that love Manny, be glad, and just all the Manny fans, be glad that he fought Ugas, and Ugas just kind of just went in there and just put on a boxing performance. Adrian, who would you like Ugas to face next, depending with what happens with Spence? The fact that he's on the PBC side of things, Adrian, what I would say is they're probably going to. They can't keep him out, right? They can't keep him out until Spence comes back, because Spence can be out for up to like a year, even beyond that. And you don't know if those sanctioning bodies are going to strip Spence or make him a champion in recess. You got to factor. What I would say is they're probably going to give him one of PBC's favorite guys at 147. They either going to give him Thurman, Danny, Sean, or probably like a Berto or something like that. One of Al's favorites. He'll have Ugas fight one of them, so they get a guaranteed bag. It'll up Ugas' profile, and if Ugas loses, then if it's Thurman or Danny Garcia or even Sean Porter or even Berto for that matter, like it's still in house. So I think he'll fight one of those 4 guys next. Andre, for sure, looked like a 42-year-old Manny. Caught him at the right time. Yeah, he definitely caught him at the right time. I will say, I'm gonna ask this to all of y'all. Now we're all boxing fans. Some of us are casual, some of us are hardcore, some of us are in the sport. Now, to my knowledge, and I'm almost sure of this, this was the first time Manny Pacquiao did VADA. This was the first time Manny Pacquiao did VADA testing. So, in you guys' opinion, do you feel like that Manny that showed up Saturday was because of age? Was it because of the inactivity? Was it because this was his first time doing VADA testing? Or do you think it was a combination of all 3? Just putting the question out there. Rob, it's time to retire and let the young generation grow. I personally don't think Spence is coming back. And if he does, his eye will be worse and go out bad. Rob, question for you, bro. For someone that's around fighters all the time, if someone had an eye injury, like what would your what would your advice be to them as far as actually coming back to the sport? Because we've seen guys with eye injuries throughout history, and it just don't end well. Like I can go as far back as like take like Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was, you know, he was out for a while with an eye injury. Take Iran Barkley. Iran Barkley had surgery on his eyes before he fought James Toney. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, like it's what advice would you give a fighter? Like, would you tell them to come back? Would you not tell them to come back? As far as Spence is concerned, people love Spence so much, Rob, that people are like, "Oh, he gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. He gonna be cool, no problem." But he's supposed to be in his prime as far as his career, but physically, he is not in his prime. He's not in his prime. Period. He's not in his prime. After that big car accident and him being out for so long, only having one fight after that, and then he had the Danny fight, and then now the eye injury, and then nobody knows how he got the eye injury. It's crazy. James Fitzgerald said, "Good talk, man. I appreciate you." This I usually had people with me, but everybody was busy today, man. You already know, it's all family, all love. You already know. Thanks for tuning in. Andre, I think it was inactivity and was overworking him on fight night, doing interviews and all sorts, inactive and overworked with senator duties. My opinion, Vada is a possibility. Um, Andre, Pacquiao's been doing the pre-fight stuff for so long, you know, the interviews and all that other stuff. Like he's a professional, so I don't think that really had anything to do with it. Beyond that, though, um, I think it's a combination of the layoff, the change. Now, people don't realize that Manny had to adjust too because he had to change opponents. Like Spence and Ugas are two completely different fighters. So to throw that on to an older guy, even though as great as Manny is, it's an adjustment that has to be made. You know, it's an adjustment that has to be made. And you know, do I think Vada had something to do with it? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think it did. Now, what percentage? I don't know, but that's the first time he had Vada, and he looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not saying that he's on anything or anything like that, but that's the first time we've ever seen Manny legs look like that. That's the first time we ever seen Manny not be explosive, and that's the first time we seen Manny in the ring with somebody for 12 full rounds, and he didn't even hurt his opponent. Just saying. Brennan, I think Ugas was going to be a hard fight for him. Yeah, Ugas was a tough cover. Ugas a tough cover for anybody, but I think Ugas beat Porter. I thought he clearly beat Porter. Like I thought he clearly beat Porter. And I'm a Porter fan. Like I thought he clearly beat Porter, but they didn't give him a decision. But I knew he was going to be a problem, regardless. Rob said depends on the severity of the injury. I would advise to give things an honest, be honest, honest thought, and think about your family. Boxing people forget about you. Family will always be there. What's most important? Yeah. Um, I figured you would give an answer like that. That's something that I would say as well to a fighter. Um, it's just, I guess my issue would be, Rob, is it less of a chance that you re-injure the eye depending on if you take more time off? Like, so for example, if they tell Spence you're going to be out from 6 months to a year, but if they tell him, like, hey, if you stay out for a year and a half or 2 years, the risk of you actually re-injuring your eye goes from a 25% to like a 9%. Like, is that something that's even possible? I might have to get a doctor or something on on the show or something. Like, I don't know if the risk is the same no matter how long you take off. Like, I'm pretty sure the standard time frame is probably 6 months to a year. But after that year, if you decide to take any more time off, does the rest lessen your chances? Because Kell Brook, eye injury, never was the same. You know what I mean? Everybody that's had an eye injury, even if they came back and they were good, they weren't the same. You know what I mean? They weren't the same. So I'm hoping that Spence is gonna be okay. But man, he probably got that. He probably got that in sparring. It's no way he had a detached retina coming off of that car accident and then fighting Danny Garcia. So how do you get a detached retina after the Danny fight? You had to have got it in sparring. You had to have got it in sparring. You see so many guys in sparring, they sparring with regular size gloves. They not sparring with headgear. Like, they be asking for it. Rob will tell you, they be asking for it. At that age, a long layoff isn't always good. Adrian, I agree with that. But that's the thing though. Like, the long layoff is not good. But if the doctors is telling you, like, hey, you got to sit out at least a year, that's a long time. But to be honest with you, PBC fighters, they be sitting out for like a year and a half. Like, you had Chris Algieri come back. He was out for 2 years. Tony Harrison was out for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so guys in the PBC, they're used to sitting out. Andre Adrian agreed a long layoff, doing two jobs. At that age, the only job should be to win the fight, carry on senator duties after the fight. Yeah, I just, Manny was given a pretty much usually Manny, I don't want to say Manny had the card stacked against him, but for a 42-year-old fighter off of a 2-year layoff and to have a change of opponent with 11 days left or 11 days notice, that's a big ask, even for a great fighter. That's a big ask. I wouldn't have been mad if Manny Pacquiao would have been like, you know what, I'm not fighting. And a lot of other people would have bailed out the fight. A lot of people would have bailed out that fight, but you know that's not Manny though. But that's a tough ask. That's a tough ask. 2-year layoff in your 40s, and you change your opponent within a 2-week time frame. It's a lot. Andre, for sure, Ugas beat Porter hands down. Yeah, I didn't see the debate with it. I know Boxing First Vlog, I think he thought Sean Porter won the fight, but I'm like, I thought Ugas clearly won that fight. I think I had it like 8-4. Clearly won that fight. Like, the thing about that fight, and people that argue me down about Porter winning that fight, this is all I tell them. I'll be like, can you make a highlight reel? Can you make a highlight reel of shots that Porter landed in that fight against Ugas? Can you actually make like a 30-second highlight reel of Sean Porter landing shots on Ugas? The answer is no. Porter gets so much credit for mauling and not landing clean shots. The two fights where he landed the most shots, clean shots, was against Paulie Malignaggi and Errol Spence. That's a fact. And I love Porter. Martin Villegas, what's going on with you? If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Get on the website, man, g5jeftv.com. Said Mr. Manny Pacquiao won easily. What fight were you dudes watching? Martin, you're the first person to say that Manny Pacquiao won the fight. I'm gonna entertain that comment. Can you give me your scorecard? Can you tell me what rounds you gave Manny or what rounds you gave Ugas? I'm kind of curious. Now, a lot of people, you know, they would have answered you in a different way. But on here, we let people speak their mind. So if you honestly felt like Pacquiao won the fight, and you're not trolling me, give me a scorecard. Give me a scorecard. I'm kind of curious. See, it depends on where the tear was. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really Rob. I'm not really familiar with the eye in terms of like what part of the eye, if there was a tear, like is minor versus major. You know what I mean? So I would need more education on that. Beams 2K, what's going on, player? He said, I think Spence is done with boxing. That eye injury is real serious there, G Fizzle. Yeah, I just anything involving the eye, man. Like, is this if you got a problem with your eyes or you got a problem with your hands, boxing is not the right place for you. You know what I'm saying? Rob said Spence will not be the same. Retire on top and collect. Yeah, Rob, I'm with you on that, man. Like, I don't want to see him get damaged inside of the ring, man. Like, because he's going to be coming off of a long layoff and dealing with an eye injury. So, you know, it's the mental aspect as well. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how he's going to respond. Then he had the car accident. That's a lot to overcome, man. Like, that's a lot to overcome. I feel like he's done enough. You know what I mean? Martin said, what was Ugas' weight fight night? 199 pounds. That's funny. Hey, Martin, let me tell you something, man. I had a couple people tell me like Ugas was big for 147. They were saying he was just big. He looked big in the fight. But I mean, yeah, he looked bigger than Pac, but a lot of people look bigger than Pac. Pac only 5'4". He only 5'4". It's like 5'4", 5'5". So everybody looked bigger than Manny. Last time I seen Manny in the ring with somebody and he looked the same size as a guy was probably Ricky Hatton. Nah, it wasn't from the accident. It wasn't from the accident. It wasn't from the accident. Like it really wasn't from the accident. I think he got the eye injury from sparring. I think he got it from sparring. That's the only thing I could think of. Like he said, don't talk to Martin no more. I just want to, hey, Rob, I just want him to give me a scorecard. That's all. Give me your scorecard. Rob, when I get comments like that, when people say something outside of the box, I gotta make sure they not trolling. If they trolling, I ain't gonna pay them no mind. But if he was dead serious, he's gonna give me a scorecard. And I need rounds. Like, don't just give me a scorecard. Like, I need rounds, bro. Andre hopes Spence recovers. Boxing needs Spence, especially welterweight division. You know what, Andre? There's so many good welterweights out there, man, and I think Spence has done a lot in his career, man. I really want him to recover so he can go play with his kids. You know what I mean? He can go have fun with his family and things like that, man. Like, I really, to be honest with you, anybody that has a serious eye injury, they got to sit out a year and a half. To be honest with you, I don't want to see them back in the ring because I don't want to see them damaged permanently. You know what I mean? If he comes back and the doctor says he's 100%, he's ready to go, then, you know, so be it. But Spence's is not going to be the same fighter. He still can be great. Like, he can still be up there to where he usually is, but it's always going to be that doubt in the back of your mind, like, damn. Because remember, Kell Brook was the goods. Kell Brook was the goods before the Golovkin fight. The Golovkin fight, and he was winning the Golovkin fight. You know what I'm saying? He was winning the Golovkin fight, got his eye damaged, got stopped, then came back with the Spence fight, damaged the other eye, and he just wasn't the same. But Kell Brook was a killer. Kell Brook was a killer before that eye injury. Like, he was the only person to really, like, manhandle, like, Porter. Not even, like, just on the inside. Like, he was just moving Porter around. Like, Porter wasn't getting his way with him. Beans 2K, remember David the Dream Reed? He had to retire from his eye injury because he had that droopy eye. G Fizzle. Yeah, I'm from Philly, man. Of course I remember David Reed, the American Dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had so much high hopes for him, man. So much high hopes for him, and he was so gifted. He was, I would say, physically one of the most gifted guys that ever come out of Philly. Like, just physically gifted, just athletic, punching power, speed, the whole nine. Like, he just had it all. he had it all, man, and you know, I felt like they didn't guide his career the way you would a medalist would. Like they kind of just they were setting him up to cash him out. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion beams. But Brennan Smith, no way Pac won that fight. Yeah, hey Brennan, I'm waiting for the guy's scorecard. He made the statement. He's the only person that I've heard on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, that said that Pac won the fight. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Yeah, he's the only person that I've heard say that Pac won the fight. I know that I know Rick Glaser said that Dan Rayfield thought that Manny Pacquiao won the fight, but I seen an interview with Dan Rayfield and he didn't say that. So Andre said even if he has a year off, that's all good as long as he comes back. The biggest fight is Crawford versus Spence. Spence can come back when he's ready. Andre, I will say this though. I will say this. I'm glad you said that too. If Spence is to come back, I don't want to see him playing around. Nothing. If he's gonna come back, go get Crawford. Go get a unification with Ugas. If it's those are the only two fights he should come back for. Unification with Ugas if he still has the belt, or a fight with Bud, or if Manny keeps on fighting and just want to fight Spence anyway. One of those three fights. It got to be one of those three. He can't come back and fight a young killer like a Boots Ennis or like a Virgil Ortiz or somebody like that. And I know the political lines and all of that, but I'm just talking about just a younger fighter. Just the risk versus the reward. Like Spence is at a point in his career, like if he's going to come back, he needs to really do his thing and just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm glad you said that though. Brennan said, I seen people say Pac-Man won, but they can't really say how. Yeah, Brennan, when people say somebody won a fight, whether I believe them or not, I'm asking for a scorecard. Like I scored it live on the channel. Like I was live on the channel. I scored it 7-5. And it was 2 rounds that I gave. It was 2 rounds that I gave to Pac that were very, very close. And I think subconsciously, I think I gave him a Pac because he's Pac. Like I could have easily had it 9-3. Ugas. Andre, the right hand from Ugas was the game changer. Before that, it was very close. Yeah, I had a 2-2 going into the fifth round. Pretty much after that, Ugas, he couldn't do no wrong with that right hand. So he controlled the first. So he controlled the first quarter of the fight with the jab, and countering Manny with another jab to offset that bouncing. And then from the fifth round on, it was just that corkscrew right hand. Like Manny was acting like he couldn't see it coming. He was almost like doing like it's almost had like the European guard, like the pickaboo guard, and he was closing in like this, and this Ugas was just looping around his hands. Great placement by Ugas, for sure. Just a second. Beams 2K. I think Manny wasn't there mentally in the fight because he was so focused on fighting Spence, and I think Manny just wasn't there. Beams, I will say this, bro. I said this prior to the fight. I said I was wondering where Manny's mental was because he was focused on Errol Spence. Like that was his fight. He took the fight because he felt like he could win that fight. But you go from Spence to Ugas, I'd have been in a little trouble too. Hold on a second. Yeah, my bad, y'all. Beams, that's a good point though. I said that too. That's that's tough, man. You're going through a whole camp, 2 years off. You think you're gonna get a unification fight and the best guy in the division, and then you go fight a guy in Yordenis Ugas who ain't as half as popular and don't have the belts. So it's a legit point. Andre, he reflects. His reflexes wasn't there at all. The right hand could have been countered. The main thing with me, Andre, with the right hand from Ugas is that Manny didn't do anything to combat it. Like, not even like counter it. Like, he didn't get underneath the shot. He didn't because all he had to do was do the the phone call defense. Put your hand up to your ear, put your glove up to your ear. He would have blocked all of them. He just never did anything to adjust. But you got to remember, Manny Pacquiao was not used to being in a position like that because his legs, he was there for them right hands because he wasn't bouncing around. He wasn't moving. His legs wasn't there. You know what I mean? So that's what made it a little, they made it a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, but I'm watching it live. I'm like, Ugas can't miss with that right hand. Cannot miss with it. Rob said that looping right hand is the same shot he caught Ray with. Yeah, same shot. Same exact shot. And Ray a good fighter. Ray a good fighter, man. And he Ray got better after that Ugas fight too, man. Because I thought Ray won that Josh Kelly fight. I definitely thought he won that Josh Kelly fight. But yeah, and Rob, let me ask you something, man. Like, do you think that Ugas was putting a lot of steam on that right hand? Because it looked like it was just he wasn't overcommitting to it. He wanted to just make sure that it landed. He was throwing it more so for placement than to like try to knock him out. Tell me if I'm right on that or if you've seen the same thing. But yeah, Ugas is a problem. Like Ugas is like, I guess Ugas is that guy. Like if it was basketball, you see him come onto the court, you know you're gonna have a long game. Like you're gonna have a long game. Brennan said body shots hurt Manny and made him move slowly. See, Brennan, I think Manny was moving slow prior to the body shots. Because I don't think Ugas did enough work to the body to slow Manny down long term. But the body shots that Ugas did land, he was moving Manny when he landed. He was physically moving him, but he landed a body shot, he moved him. If he landed that corkscrew right hand, moved him. Robbie said, nah, it was a place right. Manny was being moved a lot because of his legs. He wasn't balanced or anything. Exactly. Like the plate, he was throwing it for placement, but if Manny had his usual legs, there's no way he's there for those right hands. Like Manny's kind of like this. He's constantly doing this. It's hard to time a right hand constantly with a guy that's moving like that. He was simply like this the whole fight. He was bouncing in place, but he was just bouncing just like this, but he wasn't going side to side. You know what I'm saying? So he was just there. He was just there for me. It was so shocking to watch him getting caught with the same shot over and over and over. That's why I said, like, if he would have fought Spence, Spence would have stopped him. If he would have fought Bud, Bud would have stopped him. You know what I'm saying? But like, all credit to Ugas though. All credit to Ugas. And the reason why you have to give him all the credit is because he could have lost. And then we have to factor in. And Rob, let me get to this as well. Now I'm a betting man myself. I hit for I actually called the Charlo and Castano draw. I actually put a couple $. On that. The only reason I didn't bet Ugas is because the WBA. After that, Michael Fox, Gabriel Maestra situation, and the racist judge and all of that, I didn't feel comfortable putting bread on Ugas because I felt like Ugas had a good shot. I felt like he had a shot for sure. I just didn't think the WBA judges were going to give him a decision, but they got a spot on though. They got a spot on. Andre said, yeah, was good that Spence dropped out. Don't want to see Pac-Man go out like that. Ugas beating wasn't too much for him. Yeah, it was a competitive ass whooping. Like it was a competitive ass whooping. Like, but he didn't put it on Manny. Like, like it's weird because it was like Ugas didn't turn up. Like he clearly beat Manny and he didn't turn up. And I was screaming at the TV like, yo, bro, you got to turn up. You can't let them take this fight from you. He must have knew something that we didn't know because he was just cruise control the whole time. Beams, he said, like I said, they crushed Manny so much because he was going to try to unify the belts, and then you have to fight someone else that throws your fight game off. No, Beams, it's a valid point. I mean, whether it's true or not is, I mean, that's up to Manny to answer that. But I could see just as a human being, just logically thinking, like I can see that being the case. I could definitely see that being the case. Like that's a letdown. Like that's a letdown. Like you know what I'm saying? That's a letdown. Um, for sure, man. But is Manny Pacquiao going to retire after this fight? I think I read something where he said 60-40 that he is going to retire. That means he's coming back. He's coming back. Like the thing about Manny is Manny don't need no belt to make a big fight. Manny is Manny. I find it hard to believe that Manny Pacquiao is going to retire. Period. They can put Manny can fight one more fight against any of these. He's still the only guy in the welterweight division that can make a phone call to anybody at 147 and they're going to take the fight. Hands down. Said history always repeats itself. That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. Father Time is undefeated, so usually the older guys, you can either go out with your senses or you can get the senses knocked out of you. Go see Bernard Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? Go see Bernard Hopkins. Rob said Ali Norton. Great point. Great point. Great point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's history for a reason. History repeats itself for a reason. I mean, it comes down to a lot of detailed topics. History repeats itself. Like you go back to prior history and it can educate you on the future. You know what I'm saying? Games. Manny will retire from boxing. He's done. G Fizzle, my opinion, bro. Um, I'm not saying that he's not gonna retire. What I'm saying is he's gonna fight at least one more time. So whether he retires and then unretires and then fights, he's gonna step into the ring again. He's gonna step into the ring again. Rob said Danny Morales. Yeah, that's a good one. Eric Morales caught him with that corkscrew hook. Had him do the spinning top. Camacho, Sugar Ray. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. De La Hoya Chavez. Yeah. I mean, it's so many examples of just and Rob, it's the passing of the torch. It's the passing of the torch. Like the guys that have it, some people feel like it's an obligation for them to pass the torch on to the next guy for the sake of the sport. And then some guys is like, you know what, I'm not passing the torch for nobody. I'm just going to retire right here, right now. But a lot of those guys is not going to turn down that last check. They're not going to turn down that last opportunity. They're not going to turn down that last chance to be in the limelight, be in the spotlight, do the fighter interviews, the press conferences, like just be the man for one night. They're not going to turn that down, even if they know that their days are done. I mean, look at the co-main event. You know what I'm saying? Robert Guerrero and Victor Ortiz. You would think they were 50. You would think they were 50 years old. You know what I mean? Like you would think they were 50 years old, but that fight was so hard to watch because I'm like, both of them are like 5 years past done. 5 years past done. Like, if Manny wanted to come back and fight one of them, Manny would beat both of them right now. You know what I mean? Andre said Marciano and Floyd left when the time was right. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things, Andre, where it's like, and Rob Acosta in the chat can attest to this. Not very many guys get an opportunity to make a nice amount in the sport of boxing. Boxing is more of a way to stay in shape. It's an outlet for kids. It's an outlet, and it's the backbone of a lot of neighborhoods. You know what I mean? But very few guys are able to get 5 figures, let alone 6 figures, 7 figures for fights. So it's really all about guys taking care of their money for the short term and the long term. And I would say probably like 7, 8 times out of 10, they don't. And that's why they put themselves in bad positions. They take bad fights and things like that. And that's why you have these examples that Rob gave. You know what I'm saying? The Danny Morales, the Camacho Sugar Ray, the De La Hoya Chavez. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, shoot, even Roy Jones and Mike Tyson fought not that long ago, and I'm pretty sure they fought for the bag, and they came in they made the pinnacle of money. Like, you know what I mean? Especially Tyson. Beams 2K, Roy Jones Jr. should have retired after winning the WBA heavyweight championship from Ruiz, and look what happened after that. Wasn't the same fighter. Beams, let me speak on that because Roy Jones is probably my third favorite fighter of all time. So the thing with Roy Jones thought he was Superman at that point. He thought he was Superman. So he thought he can go from heavyweight down to light heavyweight in a relative short amount of time and beat a guy like Antonio Tarver. Now, I have aspirations of being a boxing manager. You know what I'm saying? So I would not suggest my guy or any guy to go down that much in weight for their next fight. Like, you have to gradually do that. Like, if Roy Jones would have took a fight at cruiserweight, slowly work his way back down, and then get down to light heavy, then that's manageable. That's manageable. You know what I'm saying? But so for him to go from heavyweight all the way down to 175 and then fight Tarver on top of that, who wasn't an easy cover style wise, just a bad look. But he thought he was Superman. He thought he could do anything. Rob said Manny is going to be president soon. He won't need boxing. Yeah, he doesn't need it. Like, he doesn't need it. Like, we don't know his financial situation, but I'm assuming he's like beyond good. Like, so you're right about that. Jones jumped up too fast. The thing with Roy dominance came. Roy was very technical in his boxing and his boxing style. You could tell he was technically sound, but he was so athletically gifted. He didn't have to show it. He didn't have to depend on it. So you take a guy like Roy Jones, just pure physical ability. You know what I mean? A Prince Nassim Hamed, pure physical ability. But then you got guys like that didn't have the physical ability. They had to depend on their technical skills, like a Juan Manuel Marquez. He had to depend on his technical skill. You know what I mean? I'll even take it back. Rob, you'll appreciate this one. Take a guy like a Glenn Johnson. You know what I'm saying? A guy like a Glenn Johnson. Like, Glenn Johnson had to depend on his technical ability. Bernard Hopkins, even though Bernard was athletic, but he had to depend on his craftiness. He had to depend on his technical ability. So Jones depended on his athleticism so much. And another thing about Roy Jones is that his corners sucked. And it was only because Roy was so great, he didn't need them. So when he needed the corner, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to tell him. And the things that they were telling Roy Jones, it was going in one ear and out the other because he wasn't used to listening to his corner. So he was so great, it was a detriment to him later on in his career. Beams 2K, Jones lost 25 pounds of muscle when he fought Tarver. It wasn't 25 pounds of muscle, but he had a body change. You know what I'm saying? You getting prepared for a heavyweight fight versus a light heavyweight fight is two completely different things. With heavyweight, you ain't got to worry about making weight. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what he was doing with his training. You don't know if his training regimen was different. if he trained less for the Ruiz fight. Because to be honest with you, with you know, John Ruiz, like he could punch. Like, of course, anybody in the heavyweight division can punch, but he was Mr. Jab and Grab. He was Mr. Jab and Grab. People couldn't stand seeing him on the TV screen because you knew he was just going to jab and grab you, hold you, grapple, wrestle. That's what he was going to do. So Roy probably ain't even trained that hard for that fight, to be honest with you, like the way he usually would. Andre, that was Usyk, needs a body change against AJ. At the end of the day, like he is as far as Usyk is concerned, like he's gonna be who he's gonna be inside of there. And it's funny that you said that because of course Shane shows up when Usyk name gets mentioned in a live. What's going on, bro?
What's good? I mean, I didn't see the live link. I didn't have any Wi-Fi for the last like hour and a half, so I literally just got home just now, and I just saw the.
Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Been holding it, trying to hold it down, man. We had a pretty good one in here. Just to let you know, the gentleman that's in here, Rob Acosta. That's Boots, strength and conditioning coach. I got an interview with him, but I'm waiting for the right time to drop it.
I was
But
gonna ask you a question, bro. Yo,
mhm.
what? Aren't you going live later today?
I scheduled it, but it depends on if Blunt is available. If he's not available, then I'm gonna save it for tomorrow.
Why? Why do you need Blunt to be available?
You probably gonna be asleep.
Now I'll stay up for it.
Hey man, if you're gonna be up, we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll
I'm
do
gonna
it.
call you as
No
soon as we
problem.
jump off this live. I have to call you anyway, so it's calm.
Yeah, it's cool because I'm not gonna be on here that much longer anyway. Probably like another 5-10 minutes, and that's it.
What was this
Um,
live mainly cooking about? What we cooking? What we talking?
we was basically talking about Manny Pacquiao, Ugas, the success that Ugas was having, how Manny looked in the fight, just him being open for so many right hands. We got into Spence. Um, he said, "What's good, bro?" Um, you know, yeah, Spence, the eye injury. Is he gonna retire? Is Manny gonna retire? So we've been around that um that atmosphere. Manny, Ugas, Pack, that area. You want to get your thoughts on the fight, even though you were live with me?
I mean, I haven't watched it back since the live, but it went pretty much straightforward. Um, I think once Ugas was able to establish distance, gain respect, push Pacquiao back, stop him from transitioning in, it was really a straightforward fight from there. Normally, you would see Pacquiao make an adjustment or step on the gas. I just don't think he has the youthfulness and the probably just doesn't have the enthusiasm that he used to have. And with him fighting a replacement, him not fighting Errol Spence, probably added to it as well. But I don't think he would have made a
Beams.
difference.
That's
But
what Beams said. Beams made that point. Just the disappointment and not fighting Spence. Um, and I said this earlier. I said the combination of him coming off a 2 year layoff, being in his 40s, having to do VADA testing, and then a change of opponent within a 2 week time frame. That's a
ingredient,
big
it's
ask. That's a
ingredient for failure, mate.
Yeah, that's a big ask, even for someone as great as Manny Pacquiao. Beam said, I think Roy should have stayed at middleweight or super welterweight because no one would have beaten him at those two weight classes. They talking about Roy Jones. Beams, here's the thing. So at that time, Roy Jones, he was looking for like that big bread. So at that particular time, it really wasn't pay-per-view like that. HBO Boxing After Dark was the pay-per-view. That
Yeah.
was the pay-per-view.
I, I,
So he wanted that, he wanted that Floyd
and
money back
you,
then.
you also got to remember, he wasn't competing with anyone at that time. He was competing with
Absolutely.
himself. Like,
Yep.
it's about achieving greater and greater, pushing the boundaries basically to see how great you are. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you guys think he was the greatest fighter of his era, what do you think he's thinking? So he's gonna think, you know what? Let me take on harder tests to push myself. And
Yeah,
that's
that's a
what he's
fact.
gonna do.
That's a fact. And of course, you show up, and of course, your favorite fan shows up. Pack said, "Ugas remind me of Marquez overhand right." Pack, let me address that real quick. So the thing with Marquez right hand that made it more impressive is that he had Pack running into the right hand because his legs was there. So Pack was doing this, bouncing from side to
Yeah,
side. So
and he timed
Marquez
that
is
right hand so
yeah,
well.
Marquez had the timing right and
Ugas
place it
didn't even
right.
have to time it. It was
He didn't
just
have the
every
timing.
time he threw it.
He
It
was
was
just
every
aiming
time he
it.
threw it. Every time he threw it, Pacquiao was at the end of it, and he didn't do
Yeah,
anything to do. And it was more of a looping thing. This is what I say is Pacquiao's absolutely done because I've never seen someone land something so continuously, and the punch was so rudimental. Like it was so rudimental. Like there was nothing amazing about it. It was just pretty basic, to be fair. It's like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. It's as easy as it comes. A
yeah.
very wide looping overhand that you can see coming, and he just didn't do anything to get out of the
It,
way. I mean, I remember him landing like it 3 consecutive times. I'm thinking, Pacquiao, you're not gonna do nothing to get out of the way of this.
that's what I said earlier. I said he didn't because I think Andre said he didn't even try to counter it. I said he didn't try to get underneath it. He didn't try to roll with it. I said all he had to do was do the phone defense. He'd have put his hand up to his ear. I said he'd have caught all them shots. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But the thing is, like Manny was done. Like he was done. Like toast. Rob Acosta said, "I want to come to the UK. What's up, man? Like you could
I
definitely make that
mean,
happen." But
if you come to the UK, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, right now it's not straightforward, not with
no,
COVID.
no, I mean post COVID, but he is strength and conditioning. That's boot strength and conditioning coach. So he coming out
Yeah.
there to, you know what I'm saying? You already know.
I mean, there's a few gyms
But
out here that's got a lot of work in there. You got the gym in London called Peacocks. That's got like maybe 10, 15 prospects coming through. Dubois, Okoli, Richards, uh, Dan Aziz. Most of the dudes from London are coming out of that gym. Peacocks.
yeah.
I mean, I can
Hey
name you so
Rob,
many fighters. Anthony Yards out of that gym. Boatsy.
Rob, when I went to the gym and I talked to you and I said my guy was from the UK, this is the guy that I was talking about. This is the
Oh,
guy that I was talking about. And he will be in Philly. So I will be
well, I
bringing him
don't
to
know.
the gym.
I don't know. We have to
Okay,
wait
so if
for
he
COVID.
okay,
We have
so
to wait for
uh
COVID.
all right, so Shane
I have
will
it
be in
booked.
Philly at
I have
some
it
point,
booked. I have it
but
booked,
you're not
but we don't
sure.
know. Yeah,
Okay, so if he gets to Philly, I'll definitely be bringing him to the gym, man, and come meet you and meet everybody at the gym. Andre said, "Don't forget the right hand, big game changer for Ugas." Yeah, I mean
yeah.
but this thing though, Andre, he controlled the first 4 rounds with the jab. Then he adjusted and started throwing that corkscrew right hand after the 4th round. So it wasn't like he gave his whole hand. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. It was basic, but it was beautiful what he did. It was basic, but it was beautiful. He said, "Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, yeah, like yeah. That I'm telling you, Shay, I can't wait for you to go to that gym, man. Like everybody that's the who's who in the city is in that gym. So it's kind of similar to the gym that you were talking about.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
reason
But
why I say it's a bit different though, the gym in the UK, I'll give you an example. Dan Aziz, Boatsy, Richards, and Anthony Yard, all same weight class, all young prospects, all from the same gym, never have sparred each other.
it's crazy. I and
Crazy.
Rob can attest to this. Everybody in that gym probably done sparred each other. They're used to sparring each other. You know what I mean? Because it's work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's absolutely crazy.
I
Like,
told you that's one of the biggest problems with UK boxing.
yes, it
They like
is.
to protect their fighters. Like
It's
even when Devin Haney went over there, he tried to get sparring, he couldn't get any.
yeah. That's the thing. That's the bad thing about it. Like in the UK, they don't look at sparring the same way as the United States does. And you gotta come over here. That's why I said like guys like Amir Khan, they should have came over here a long time ago. But I think that's his um he came over too late.
But you know what it is, bro? You also got to remember these dudes are stars over here. That's what they're not stars in America. Yard
Right.
was like the biggest prospect in the UK at once upon a time. He's not a prospect. He's not seen as a top prospect in America. That's the difference. Like these
Yeah.
men are literally stars. So they're thinking, why should I
Yeah.
go over there and fight and I make a certain amount of money when here I'm a star, I'm selling out and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
boxing is a bit like people love boxing over here, so it's a bit
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Being 2K said, when you finally get a chance to unify the belts and it doesn't happen, I just think it crushes the fighter spirit. G Fizzle. I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I agree, man. It's
Yeah,
you
but
know
it's
what
not
I
just
can.
finally though, because he's unified the belts before.
Yeah, but at this age, though, I'm pretty sure he was really like he probably was doing things to prepare for the fight. That he probably even watched film on Spence. And you know, Pac probably don't even watch film. You know what I'm saying? He probably did everything humanly possible
I,
to get ready for
I'm
Spence.
I'm wondering, and this is just me being honest. If I'm wondering the mindset of Pacquiao
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on during the camp and before the fight, because I would have assumed that he felt he could win. But if I'm thinking about it, like 2 years out of the ring to just jump in there with Errol Spence. I mean, I don't know, man.
You know what he was thinking?
What?
You know what he was thinking? Car accident. He fought
Oh,
Danny. Danny didn't do nothing.
I don't think it was that, man. I think I
I,
part of me
I,
feels like he came in and he knew he was
well,
gonna lose.
think
That's
think
what I
about it.
think.
Think about it though, right? If you going to catch Spence, right? So he gets a chance to win two belts against a guy coming off an accident like that, and he fought one guy in Danny Garcia who is nowhere near Manny offensively in terms of just the style. Going into it, I think he honestly thought he had a shot at winning the fight. Like it's so when you say that, bro, this is what I'm thinking. This is why I'm combating you with this. When I hear you say that, I would apply that to a Mikey Garcia versus a Manny Pacquiao. Like I don't think Manny, even at this stage, I think he came into the fight thinking he had a chance to win the fight. I just think I gotta agree with you and Beams on this one, man. I think he was really disappointed that he
Yeah,
didn't have a chance to unify.
I get that, but I'm like, you are in camp. You must be seeing that your levels aren't as high as it was.
Bro, everybody, but everybody's gonna lie to him though. You know that. Everybody
Yeah.
gonna lie to him. Everybody gonna lie to him. And on top of that, if he had a bad camp, yo, it would have reflected in the betting lines. And you know that too.
No, but the difference is, it's like, how would it's I mean, it's difficult to say, but when I'm looking at it, I'm more thinking from a perspective of you knowing yourself. I'm not saying you had a bad camp or not, because you could easily peak too early or peak too late, or even be in a case where, as you guys say, he was demoralized for the last 2 weeks of his camp. Easily can happen. But I'm just saying, the regression I saw in Pacquiao, I don't need to be a genius to know that if I saw that in camp, I would know that he's not going to beat Errol Spence.
He probably ain't do that in camp though. Cause a
You
guy,
know,
cause guys that age, that's why the old saying is like they age overnight. They may look good in camp, they may look good the whole time, but when it come down to fight night, they get old instantly, just like that.
yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a question that I want to answer, by the way.
I got you. I'm about to run through it. Rob said, "Yeah, I myself sparred a few guys. Yeah, and I know you spar. I know you spar, man. They just don't look at it the same in the UK.
It's
They
just
just got a different
attitude.
philosophy. Yeah, it's an attitude thing." Andre said, "If Iverson was still playing, he would be in a plane tomorrow." That's true. Who's bigger in the UK, Fury or AJ? That's for you, Shane.
AJ, and it's not even
Yeah,
close.
it's not even close.
AJ is way bigger,
Yeah,
and
he's way
it's
bigger.
what you got to understand is fanfare. So Fury, people know Fury, but people don't have the same. People knew Fury before, but AJ has a lot of fanfare because, for one, commercialization. This guy literally advertises everything. He advertises body spray. He advertises drinks. He advertises food. He advertises clothes. He advertises sportswear. He advertises everything. And then, secondly, he's got a better promoter. Like this dude literally promotes him everywhere. But the most important thing is, back in the day, Britain had Frank Bruno and Lennox Lewis. Lennox
Mm-hmm.
Lewis was a way better fighter, but the fans loved Frank Bruno more because they
Yeah.
just felt more of a connection. Whereas
Right.
Lennox Lewis built
Personal
this
connection.
bridge, yeah, that personal connection with Frank
Mm-hmm.
Bruno. He's the
Mm-hmm.
old British fighter. He embraces Britain, whereas Tyson Fury doesn't really do that. One
Yeah.
thing you will learn if you come to England for one day is very patriotic. They will back you no matter what, as long as you're English. He's a Tyson Fury is a gypsy. So a lot of people who are gypsies in England, it's always them against the world kind of thing. They got the
Everybody else.
attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Yeah.
attitude that they have, and a lot of people like that. That's where the division comes. He doesn't embrace the UK, so the UK don't embrace him. But
Mm-hmm.
some UK fans do. But if you're talking about the regular person, they know Tyson Fury. They don't love Tyson Fury. They
Yeah,
love
you
AJ.
comparing on the AJ, it's two different leagues. Two different leagues. Brennan said we will never know how Pac versus Spence would have gone. If that Pac would have showed up against Spence, Spence would have knocked him smooth out. Beam said, remember Manny a chance against Thurman, and look what happened. No, I picked Manny to win that fight. I thought Thurman
Yeah.
won by a point, but I predicted he was going to win that fight. Rob said, I'm out. Stay safe. He said, Jeff called me. I got you. I got you for sure. He said, okay, good to know. Yeah, man. I think I was saying before we end this, Shane, I was saying that I think Pac is gonna step in the ring one more time. Um, I just he's one of them guys. I just think he's not gonna say no to a big bag. He's not gonna say
The
no to
key
a
thing,
big bag.
I thought his career was done off. These are the facts I thought his career was done after. I thought his career was done after Marquez, he came back. I thought his career was done after Floyd, he came back. I thought his career was done after Horn, he came back. So now I'm just thinking, if he loses this fight, which he has lost this fight, he might come back and get a win and think, you know what, I might be able to go again. That might be the case.
Yeah, I might be wrong for saying this, yo. I don't even really care, yo. I don't even really care. Um, if they promise Manny a fight and it's Novada, he's taking it. Cause it's no way. That's the first time he ever did Vada. Now people say, oh, well, he did Vada with Floyd. Floyd never did Vada. Let's get that clear. He never did Vada. He did quote unquote Olympic style, but that's not Vada. You understand what I'm saying? So
But the reason why VADA is so important is because it's voluntary anti-doping agency. The difference with this is it's random drug testing. You saw
on
there's random drug testing as well, but it's also like where you are, location. I can pull up anywhere you are, and it's for a specific amount of time.
and
So the
Shane,
moment you sign the papers, gone.
and let me. This is a question slash comment. When has USADA ever caught anybody?
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know.
They never caught anybody. VADA catches that. They catch people in boxing, outside of boxing, other sports, Olympics. It doesn't matter. Like they catch people. Pac said, "I'm going to step one more time. Don't worry." I hear you, bro. Um, yeah, but that's the thing. I think if Manny can get a fight, like if Bud Crawford said he'll fight Manny tomorrow, Manny like, yo, do I have to do VADA? And Terrence Crawford say no. He's taking it. He's taking
I
that
want to
fight.
know. I want to see where Ugas is because he has definitely climbed up the ladder when it comes to like his name, his pulling power. You know,
I'm happy for him. I'm
he's a
happy
big
for
dude
him.
right now.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, man, because he was
Where does he
15
go
and
next?
3.
Where does he
Huh?
go next? Where does he go next?
He's gonna get one of Al Heyman's 4 favorite guys. He's either gonna get Thurman, Porter, Danny, or Berto. One of the 4. He's gonna get one of
So
them four
I
next.
hope it ain't Berto. I hope it
I
ain't
hope
Berto.
it's not Berto either. I think after that, he's gonna take a fight like that until they get more word on Spence. Um, but if Spence doesn't come back, then he's gonna be in line for a unification fight because they're gonna
What
put him
about
up against somebody.
boxing? What about Porter? What about Porter?
That's the thing. That's what makes the Porter Crawford thing so interesting because whoever wins this purse bid September 2nd, if Al Heyman knows that Spence is going to be put in
I thought the
champion
first bid was
recess,
Friday.
no, it's September 2nd. Changed it. That's why I put the live up for it, September 2nd. So what makes it interesting? So you got a couple of things, right? And this is kind of segueing into the next live. But you got Crawford possibly getting out of his top rank deal in October, right? So he could possibly be going into that fight technically a free agent. That's number one. Number two, we don't know within that time frame if they know if Spence is going to be out for a year, year and a half, whatever the case may be, and you know if anybody's going to know if the sanctioning bodies is either going to strip Spence or they're going to make him a champion in recess. You know that Sean Porter is going to be in line for one of those belts. So if you're Al Heyman, do you pull Sean Porter from out of the Terrence Crawford fight to get him into a title fight under your own umbrella to where you don't even have to deal with the other side? You understand what I'm saying? Because if he pulls Porter out, then the next person up is Virgil Ortiz. So Sean Porter still gets the title shot. So and then he don't have to split the bread with nobody. So that's the interesting factor. So the purse bid is September 2nd, but it's not a guarantee. It is far from a
The,
guarantee this happens.
the reason why he's not going to put no money in it is because the only reason why he'll put money in it because the only mega fight in that division is Spence versus Crawford. He doesn't know where Spence is.
Absolutely. So he's not going to put no money into it. What I think is going to happen, this is what I think is going to happen. I think everybody's going to come in with a low ball offer. Bob's not going to.
If I was Eddie Hearn, I'll put some money up for that fight. I swear to God.
I'm going to tell you the top two people that's going to win, that's favored to win this fight.
Triller.
Eddie Hearn, Triller. Because
Eddie Hearn didn't say he's gonna put a bid for it though. He didn't say he will put a bid in for it.
But that's what makes me believe he gonna put in a big ass bid because he quiet. He gonna put up a huge bid.
Bro, you know why that makes sense? Because he lost Canelo. Canelo went on his own.
He came in second in the Tiafimo. That's how I know he gonna make a big one. See?
Oh yeah, bro. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think. I forgot.
He was off. He was off.
Come second. I didn't
he
even
was
watch
off like
second.
he was off by like 2.5 million.
I don't even see like I don't even watch you come second. I just watch you comes first.
Yeah, he came second. But Eddie's gonna make a splash. He's gonna make a splash. Even if he comes in second again, he's gonna make a splash. Andre said that's the crazy this in the boxing commission has never caught a fighter cheating in history. I may be wrong, but from what I've seen, that's what's crazy. Yeah, like USADA, like they've never caught nobody. Like they've never caught nobody. And if you talk about the boxing commissions, the commissions ain't caught nobody neither. Like Shane and I had a conversation about that off camera. Just in terms of the inspectors and things like that. Like what training are they getting? What backgrounds do they have?
When it comes to drug testing, it's a bit harder because
I'm talking beyond drug testing. We talking gloves and everything.
No, in that sense, I agree. But when it comes to drug testing, just in this particular subject, the reason why I say it's a bit harder is because with USADA and with the other commissions, you sign up when you want to sign up, and you get tested when you want to get. With VADA, it's voluntary. So once you signed up for it, you signed up for drug testing. It's gonna be random. You don't give in a sample when you want to give in a sample. You don't get a chance to cycle off and then cycle back on.
Yo, I got a funny question, yo, but I'm dead serious. Is you think Jean Pascal is going to sign up for Vita testing?
I don't think he's going to be able to fight anymore.
That's a, you know what? I know we'll never be able to talk to Jean Pascal because he's just not going to talk to anybody. But I would love to talk to somebody that's kind of close to him. I don't know who, but just like when I think of Jean Pascal, think how far back he been juicing. He's the only dude to really rock Bernard Hopkins the way he rocked him. Take
Bro,
Marcus
bro,
Brown. Take Marcus Brown.
bro, Joe Smith knocked knocked him out of the ring.
Yeah, but that was way before. That was way after though. That was way after. That was his last fight. Like B Hop was like old, but he wasn't like super old. And Jean Pascal was just like it's crazy. And then Marcus Brown, same thing.
But Marcus Brown has had chin problems though.
Yeah, but he was those are different type of knockdowns.
Yeah.
He was, I mean, he had like eyes rolling in the back of his head type shit, like Halloween. He had Halloween eyes and shit. You know what I mean? He said Crawford. Andre said Crawford.
Much the drugs he's on. Because if Marcus Brown stands up to Beterbiev, then I know this guy must have been on everything.
Yeah, it's we'll get to that another joint, which is an interesting topic that we need to. You know what, that might be a daytime live that we gonna have to do. That gotta be a daytime live. Andre said Crawford beats Porter. Yeah, I think Crawford beats Porter too. Just Crawford just cleaner work, better footwork, not quicker footwork, but better footwork, better foot placement. And I think he'll be able to beat Porter in between shots, in between those them wide shots. It's weird because Porter's shots are compact but wide. Like it's weird as hell. You know what I mean? He said Crawford needs to get away from Bob Arum. Always robs the fans. The thing is, bro, like he's just it don't matter what Bob Arum's trying to do. At the end of the day, he don't have no fighters at 47. He ain't got no fighters at 54. It's really what it comes down to. Like he don't have no fighters neither way, and it's been like that for a very long time. Very long time. You know what I'm saying? Pac, he said their employees must be blind. He talking about the commission. Yeah, I mean, but that's why we need to know, like, what are their backgrounds? Like, what can somebody off the street just become an inspector? Can Shane become an inspector? Can I become an inspector? You know what I mean? But those are questions I would ask like a commission. Like I would love to interview a commission. I would love to. Actually, we need to look into that. I would love to interview someone from a commission or something like that to ask them just questions, like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
the
I
general
told you
public want to know.
I spoke to the guy who runs the British Boxing Board of Control.
That's been a while though.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Yeah, I would still love to talk to him.
I still got his contact, bro.
Yeah, I would still love to talk to him, like, and set some, if he needs like some ground rules set in terms of what we can't talk about. I don't have a problem with that either.
The problem will just be time, bro.
I will make time. I will make time for, like, I would take off work for that. Like real shit. Like not even joking. He said put some braille on the gloves and get the thumbs up. Oh man. Pac said the commission are the promoters. Pac, you know what, man? You could say the commission has a part to play in it. The networks have a part to play in it. But more importantly, the promoters control the game. The promoters control the game, and I'm gonna tell you why, Pac. Because the promoters, they control the company. The company gets the network contract. They make the network sign no compete clauses. So HBO can't put on, when HBO was out, HBO couldn't put on PBC fighters and top rank fighters. Al Heyman signed with Showtime. Showtime can't put on top rank fighters. So in a sense, you're monopolizing the market, but the promoters are doing that because of the type of deals they're making the network sign. You understand what I'm saying? So the promoters are still running things. So if you want to say the commission is I would say it's the promoters and then it's the sanctioning body. It's the promoters, then it's the sanctioning body, because sanctioning bodies are connected to certain promoters. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole pecking order pack. But I hear what you're saying though. Like I definitely hear what you're saying. But um you know what? We gonna close this one out. Um it was a good live. It was actually, Shane, it was a lot of interaction in this one. I've been running my mouth the
I
whole
was
time.
late, but I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I've been running my mouth the whole time. Like I thought I was going be at a loss. Well, I ain't never at a loss for words, but I thought I was gonna be struggling a little bit. But they was, yeah, they was cooking in here today. They was cooking in here today, man. But um, yeah, it's a lot to talk about in the sport. Now I'm not 100% sure if we're gonna do the Crawford the Crawford Porter a little bit later on, or I'm gonna hold it off to tomorrow, because the main reason is because I didn't do no media blitz for it, and I like to do a media blitz before we go on. But I'll talk to Shane off camera about that. But Andre said, thanks, awesome live. Uh, Glad we in lockdown, got to stay for most of the show. Hey man, we appreciate you, brother. And this is what we like to do. Like, we just like to talk boxing, no filter, no nothing, and we're trying to get some other things tight. Just as far as, because I know people are just used to watching the lives right now. I kind of stopped doing the regular video thing, but we're trying to get some technical things right in terms of how we want to go about it. And the thing, when I say we, it's myself, VP Shane, Boxing First Vlog, and we have maybe about two or three other people that we consult with on a regular basis. We're just trying to put out the best product we possibly can, the best product and the
Yeah,
most efficient product, because we
those are
went
the
through
adjectives that I would use: effective and efficient.
effective and efficient. Because when it comes to boxing talk, you can do a lot of random talking, but it's not really efficient. And if you want to
Yeah,
be effective, you have to be efficient. And that's the balance that we're trying to find right now.
because what one of the problems that we have is our clear selling point, for lack of a better one. And we don't really have a selling point, but if we was to label us, the selling point is our actual individual insight. So whether you want to agree or disagree, we're both outspoken, and we both look at boxing from a perspective that is founded on information. It's not something we made up, not something that we don't know. We actually genuinely watch the sport. It's very hard to package that, because if you understand, most people just look at things on the surface. To understand our strengths, you got to kind of delve into conversations like Andre Southgate's done, like Pac has done, like the rest of the dudes in the live has done. You kind of have to delve into conversations. It's
Yeah,
difficult to do that on the surface level. So
yeah, and it's a combination of things. It's like Shane has a life outside of this. I have a life outside of this. Boxing First Vlog has a life outside of this. So that fact is in. Then the fact that we have the ability to do so many different things that we're really trying to prioritize what goes where, and when. So we're still trying to figure it out. Andre, I'm sure you can appreciate that. You have a channel yourself. You know what I'm saying? But this
and we're
is
also
the
running other platforms. That's what kind of makes it
and
hard
we're
as
running the
well.
website, g5jeftv.com. We got the social medias going. We're still in the process of doing interviews, finding correspondence to cover shows
And
and
we've got
travel.
other like bigger stuff to try to
We
work on.
got
We got to work on like trying to, like, we get invited to go places as well. We just can't
and we
go.
just can't get there. And that's the thing. So it's just, Andre, just, I know you've been listening the whole show, brother. The one thing that I can say to you, the fact that you have a channel, the one thing that I always say it to myself, and when Shane and I start talking, we both say the same thing. Is you got a decision to make when you got a YouTube channel, you got a movement, you got a decision to make. You're gonna run it like a hobby, you're gonna run it like a business. If you're gonna run it like a hobby, you don't have no restrictions, no strategy, no nothing. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, no thought process. If you want to run it like a business, you got to run it like any other Fortune 500 company. Marketing, promotion, how you do things, the whole nine. So it's just, you really got to ask yourself, what you want to do and why you want to do it. But that's why we
it
have the
started
dilemmas that we have.
it started like that though. If we had the mindset to start it as a business from the beginning, we would be in a different place. We started with a mindset for it to be a hobby. It's just when certain stuff started happening, we ended up having to change to adjust to the surroundings. We didn't want to like getting invited to accreditations, learn like having certain skills, getting recognized by certain people. You end up having to have a certain level of professionalism because certain stuff happen. You end up having
Yeah,
to like
you
when you
have
go
to.
to a press conference, you can't go there just as a fan or fight. You can't go there just as a fan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm gonna get through these last few real quick, and I'm gonna make a comment before we roll. Pack says Shane is weed illegal in the UK.
Oh yeah, 100%, fully illegal.
Yeah, see, not here though. You can blow as much as you want to blow.
It's
In
cool.
most states, most states.
I'm
Yeah,
Jamaican, so it's fine.
right. Andre said, "Keep up the grind. I got to channel myself. Great to see you all grind and keep it up." He said, "That's great stuff. Got a whole system in play." Like, yeah, the one thing, Andre, that I realized is that if you feel like you can do all of this on your own, you're gonna fall flat on your face. Like, it's just if you're trying to treat it like a business. If you're doing it as a hobby, then yeah, of course, like you can do whatever you want. You can just go live, pick a topic, drop a regular video, pick a topic, pick a thumbnail. Like, but if you're trying to really, really make a difference in the sport in terms of being one of the most respected names, and we want to be one of the most respected names. Popularity and respect is two different things. Just because you're popular don't mean that you're well respected. There's plenty of dudes that's popular in media when it comes down to boxing, and they're not well respected.
Not
They're
at all.
popular. They're popular for other reasons. You understand what I'm saying? So we want to be one of the most
I
respected.
give you an example. I think that dude from Fight Hub, what's his name? He's a real respected dude. It's that dude from Fight Hub,
Fight Hub.
the one with the glasses, Mexican dude.
I forgot his name. I know who you're talking about though. Yeah,
He's
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 well respected.
he's
He's
well
well respected.
respected.
Yeah, he's well respected, and that's the thing. Like, it's what we're attempting to do is become one of the most relevant movements around, but then it's still entertaining. You don't get on the live here and you're not entertained. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if especially if boxing first vlog is in, it's pure entertainment. Like, when
Yeah,
Shane and I will crack jokes within educating or getting educated. But when he's on, like, it's just you
I
don't know
don't.
what the hell's
There's
going on.
no script. There's no script.
There's no script, but there's no script with Shane and I either. You
When I
understand what I'm saying?
when I mean there's no script, Jeff will say, "Okay, we're gonna touch on this topic, this topic, this topic." That's what he would say.
That's it. There's
When Blood,
no
there'll be one topic, then bro, you'll find him all the way over there. Like,
like that's the thing, and I think that's another thing, Andre, if you're still listening, that you're gonna have to adjust to. Some guys can freestyle, some can't. But when you're running lives and things like that, and you have people in the comment section and all that, um, a lot of times it's hard to stay on topic, stay on script. You got to kind of go with what your audience is flowing with. It's not a TV show. You understand what I'm saying? So we have a lot of success going on right now, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we're constantly working on. So it's like I talk to this dude more than I talk to my own brother. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all gotta understand what actually goes into us bringing you the product that we have. And like once I get off this live, I'm gonna have to call him because we gonna have to talk. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like that's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? He's Pack said I watched the fight on mute and I was high as fuck. Not gonna lie, it was beautiful. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, Ugas missus is official. She's
Yeah.
she's. I told her when I said he went from ashy to classy, that was another reason. He went from ashy to classy. She probably was like, "Baby, I don't like no hair." He's like, "Fuck it, I don't like no hair neither." He took the eyebrows off, the beard, the mustache, all that. He's like, "I'm just gonna go bald." You know what I mean? He said, still
Yeah,
here, got
definitely.
the notification. Hopefully I catch the next one. We on
We got to
we're
jump. We got to jump off soon. We got to jump
yeah,
off.
we gotta jump off because I gotta talk to him anyway. But Andre said, oh, he already got the notifications on. So worst case scenario, we're gonna be on tomorrow for Bud and
But
Sean Porter.
we might be on today.
We might be on today. We might be on today. But if you got your notifications on, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You'll get it. It's not a problem, man. But we
On
gonna
this
close it
after,
out.
what you can do is to support us even more. Just go to the website and
Yeah, go to the
join the fight.
website, man. Go to g5jeftv.com. Go register. Join the fantasy league. Bro, if you are a writer, if you want to write for the website, email us, man. Email us contact at g5jeftv.com. Also media at g5jeftv.com. If you have questions as far as just your channel, advice, questions, whatever, we don't care. Like you can send them. We gonna respond, quick and in a hurry, man. You showing us love and taking time out of your schedule to fuck with us. We gonna fuck with you, and that's just how we get down. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to you, brother. But I got to talk to Shane. We got to talk about a couple things, off camera type shit. Y'all will be privy to that. Down the line, we got to charge y'all for that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But Shane, give me your social media real quick.
I'm Shane the number one.
Absolutely. On Instagram. He capped 100 followers on there. Big shout out to Shane for somebody
I didn't even
for,
know.
for somebody that don't be on there ever. That's a big accomplishment.
I'm not a
And
social media fan, so
he's not a social media fan, but the thing that's funny is all 100 people are probably important.
most likely.
Yeah, I'm saying most likely. And I'm all over the place: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5FTV, website, G5FTV.com. Go register for the website, join the fantasy league. Um, I don't know who's on top of the leaderboard right now, but
You're still there. You and Christian.
I'm still
Conrad's on
there.
10 points. He's the only one he won last week. Conrad, shout out to Conrad.
Yeah, big shout out to Conrad Boxing. Um, but we all over the place, man. We working. Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog. He out there working right now. Big shout out to him. But we're either gonna be on in an hour or we're gonna be on tomorrow. But if you got your notifications on, it really don't matter what we do. Just turn your goddamn notifications on. You know what I'm saying? On behalf of Boxing First Vlog, VP Shane, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, we are out. I'm gonna hit your line.